Si niya para. All right, so frequency. I'm gonna talk about frequency again. This time the opposite way. I remember when I first started getting into like strength training, bodybuilding, powerlifting, whatever. Everyone always advised that one time a week where you blast a muscle group is enough. So a typical split would have been like chest and triceps, back and biceps, shoulders, legs, something like that. Whatever, who gives a shit? And then there came a point in time when people were like, no, you need to do things more often. 2 times a week, 3 times a week, frequency, or else you're just wasting your time. Now, like all things, the approach is somewhere in between. Not every muscle group has to be hit multiple times a week. If you have a really strong back musculature, but your pushing muscles or pressing muscles, chest, shoulders, triceps, are not up to snuff, they're lagging in strength, size, fullness, whatever. Why would you do them at the same frequency and the same volume? Why would you not increase the frequency of something you're trying to push? For example, let's look at the strength training realm of this. Let's say you're a power lifter and your squat sucks ass, but your bench and deadlift are great. Would you not be doing your squat more frequently than your bench and deadlift? Why would you give them equal attention? Why would you give them equal amount of training days? It doesn't make sense. However, we've come too far the other way where it's just frequency, frequency, frequency. If that was the case, you should train every muscle group 7 times a week, but we don't because we know more is not better. So I find even as I'm on Instagram, YouTube, the opposite approach is coming back, where people are just having one workout a week for their muscle groups. I'm not saying that's right. I'm not saying that's wrong. But when you go too far into one direction, then it doesn't make any sense. Because sometimes one can argue that 1 times per week frequency for training for a lift, a muscle group, is simply not enough. I'd be one of those people. However, if you are really good or have a really strong muscle group or a really strong lift, why would you do it frequently when you have other needs to address? So frequency is a big conundrum right now, in my opinion. The bro splits are coming back. I don't necessarily agree with that approach, but I don't think that every muscle group has to get hit 2 to 3 times per week. That I also don't agree with. So find the ideal frequency for you and you'll do much better. One more thing I have to add, there might be periods of the year where you do have higher frequency and then periods of the year where you have lower frequency. You should have a strength training routine, yes, but the principles should be constantly changing depending on what your goals are. People think you need staples in your strength or muscle building routine. You don't. You need to constantly cycle in what works. And sometimes you need low frequency, sometimes you need high frequency. That's all there is to it. Take care.